Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. 20 minutes on the clock. Good luck.
Good afternoon, guys. Thank you for coming out and taking the time for CalCon. Building is our passion to present our problem statement for the Mountain Division project. Our mission is to engage with Pride Development to provide pre-construction services, including design coordination, constructability review, budgeting, management, as well as the construction planning. We plan to proceed with that relationship and continue to provide the construction services throughout the rest of the project. Jumping right in. On today's agenda, we have our philosophy behind the CalCon name, the project overview. We'll be taking a lot of advice or a lot of expertise on our safety and risk management, as well as the pre-construction services that we have planned out for this project. Leading that, we're going to explain the site logistics, the schedule, and the estimate that we have planned for the actual construction process. From there, we'll close out with some of our quality assurance and our unique closeout process. Jumping right in, go ahead, Andrea.
Hi, good morning. Here at CalCon, building is our passion. We also support and encourage open communication. We want everything out on the table so that everything gets discussed and we attack problems head on. We're innovative with technology and collaboration. We want everybody to be incorporated on the design phase as the owner and as CalCon. We hope to provide you with world-class environment as you, from an owner perspective, expect from our team. And hopefully with passion, respect, integrity, honesty, and dynamic culture, we can create a successful project. One pillar of CalCon is our safety program. You'll find this throughout our project. It is always implemented. It's called the Zero Incident Policy, and it's upheld throughout the project. And we reward safe practices. We don't penalize for it, and we'd like to take a proactive approach.
I'm going to jump into pre-construction right now. We at CalCon pride ourselves on setting a strong foundation for every project through our pre-construction phases. We have a general set of goals we like to achieve through every pre-construction phase. We like to make sure that we analyze any potential for risk and get a good backbone to it, see if we can work around it during the pre-construction phase. We want to obtain every permit possible to make sure we don't hold up the schedule in any way through paperwork or anything like that. We want to have a steady flow of communication between the workers in the field and the workers back in the office. That way everyone's on the same page and they're on the same page once construction starts. And we also want to have some consistency within the drawings, have a nice conform set ready to go once scheduling begins. We know up here in Vail, Colorado, SWIP is very important. We have taken the necessary precautions to obtain and be able to obtain a city permit through the city, through Colorado. We have a third-party SWIP inspector on site every 3 months to do an inspection on his own. We also have our QC manager doing a weekly inspection. He'll be in charge of all the storm drains, all the SWIP that will be on site. The bid packages for this project will begin during pre-construction. We will take care of most of the bid packages at that time. That way we can have submittals and RFIs and all that stuff from the subcontractors, especially with the site work, excavation demo, have it ahead of time before construction begins. And from there, our document review through our BIM coordination and our EA documents, there'll be a steady flow right into construction as we go along. This is our staffing chart. As you can see, we are highly involved in pre-construction, and it's also in your phase 1 folder. If you have any questions, feel free to ask me and I'll help you through it.
One thing that makes our pre-construction services so successful is that we build a very strong foundation. During this pre-construction services, we're going to be 100% BIM coordinated. That's going to begin the very beginning of the pre-construction phase, and it's going to follow all the way through the majority of the construction process. The benefits of doing that is that we're going to find the majority of the MEP clashes and the different conflicts that we're going to face throughout the project. This is going to increase our production rates as well as minimize conflict coordination between different trades. As well, what we're going to do is we're going to implement pull planning sessions. What pull planning sessions is in the last month of pre-construction, we're going to get our superintendent and all the different trades into an office. What we're going to do is we're going to basically spread out all the different means and methods and different techniques that we're going to use for the actual construction throughout the process of the construction project. And what we'll find is that the benefits of that is that we're going to be able to elaborate on the schedule and provide a means and method and actually provide constructability to the diagrammatic drawings that have been completed from the design team. To jump into the project, we have pre-construction starting February 21st, 2012 and finishing July 16th. We have about 6 months total for the pre-construction services, and this is going to lead us right into the construction that we plan on obtaining from the owner, from Pride. We are planning on using a CM at-risk contract. Construction is going to be 28 months, completed in October 1st, 2014. Our main priority was to finish the construction just before the winter season so that the tenants can move in and get ready for, a fun-fulfilled snow season. I know that as a director of development, Jim, I know you're being very interested in the total bid, and our total bid cost is going to be at $205 million total, and that's including all of our fees. Going into the site logistics plan, we made 3 different site logistics plans that made the most sense to us. This is our excavation. You'll see the construction fence in the blue with the orange being our excavation. We have a big ramp on top. Our main priority, Lourdes Lopez, I think that you take a big look at this, is that none of our excavation is going to pertain outside the fence. Our biggest factor was public safety, and that's probably what we took the most time analyzing while we were doing this excavation site. You'll see the temporary Calcon trailer on the bottom right. It's a smaller trailer because we're just excavating, and we're going to actually relocate our trailer as soon as we get fully on site with our slab on grade. This is our concrete site logistics. As we're pumping the concrete in place in our cast in place concrete, we have 4 different locations you can see in black surrounding. What those are the easily accessible sites for trucks to pull off the main road and pull back on without obstructing the traffic. We thought this is the most allowable approach for us to continue high production rates without affecting any of the general public. Again, you'll see that our Calcon trail is in the bottom right, but then as we go to the general, it's actually the big box in red right there in the middle. What that is, that's a big, I guess you say, an architectural plan for, I would say, probably a courtyard for the hotel or for the residents. And what we're going to do is we're going to keep that as the site logistic or site laydown for our subcontractors until we finish with our exterior and interior finishes, and we're going to demobilize, and we're going to finish all the landscape and the concrete in that area. What we're going to do is when we demobilize during this stuff, we're actually going to move the Calcon team in a storage unit within the building on the first floor. Just a small room that isn't going to be too heavily coordinated with finishes, so that way we're not damaging anything and stepping on your guys' toes as a finished product. Go ahead, Arn, take it off the schedule.
I'm going to briefly go over some project milestones for the schedule. As Alex already stated, we're anticipating the notice to proceed February 21st of 2012. We should be complete with pre-construction July 16th, and substantial completion of the project will be October 1st, 2014. The parking structure will be finished February 5th of 2013, allowing the parking structure to open while we're working on the remaining building. The exterior shell will be done July 15th of 2013, and our tower cranes will be used for 205 days, beginning in October and ending when the exterior shell will be taken out. A big impact that could affect the schedule are the weather delays. We have taken into account 40 days throughout the 26-month period of our schedule to account for weather delays. We also put a big emphasis on concrete. It will be on the critical path, especially with the potential for snow and the weather delays, and therefore we are going to self-perform all the concrete ourselves. We'll have a better grip of it, we'll be able to manage it better, and we can control the flow of the work. And Jonathan Cummings and Jonathan Hooten will go more in depth with that for you.
Good morning. Like Arn said, by us self-performing our concrete, we'll be able to control the costs, the schedule, which will, since it is one of the largest scopes of work, that'll help us manage those. As you can see, the portion that we took off was 214 cubic yards for the beam and girders, with approximately 5,500 square feet of form work. We chose Subsea, the steel contractor. He was a furnished FOB, so we also included with his price a steel erector who would provide direction. The addendum issued for the substitution of the roofing would, from concrete tiles to asphalt shingles, would save about 75% from the roofing costs.
Additionally, we budgeted for cure delaying and winterizer concrete admixes to accommodate extended mountainside travel time and to ensure the concrete product will be within specification. Further, these admixtures have a risk and safety component as well. They will allow the concrete truck drivers plenty of time to arrive on site.
The concrete beam and girder price came out to $157,000. Structural steel and miscellaneous metals picked up by Subsea and his erector is about $7.7 million. And Alex will tell you about the mechanical.
So in our phase 1 of our binders, we displayed that we chose Rocky Mountain Mechanical to be our mechanical contractor. With that, we also chose Queen State Electrical to be that subcontractor as well for the electrical portion. If you guys have any questions about that, we can feel free to ask us at the end of this presentation. We explain this on a brief narrative about why we thought that they were the best fit for that portion of the work. You'll notice that our project staff is about $3.5 million. You can find that in your section under conceptual estimate on the first page. As well, the overhead equipment, we have 3.0 million. That was based on $130,000 per month. And as well, you'll see in the conceptual estimate another breakdown Excel sheet of some added general conditions that we felt needed. And you can see that breakdown. Some of them are housing for our concrete laborers as well as transportation during the winter months. Our pre-construction staff as well, we're going to eat that cost. We're going to consolidate that cost within our overall budget, planning that we are awarded this project, and that again is $620,000. That brought our total cost to $170 million. Go ahead, John, and take it away.
Our general expense cost is just under $8 million. We chose a 4.75% fee with a 10% contingency for a total bid of $205 million.
Here's our estimate contingency plan. Due to the location of the Mountain Division project and its extreme weather potential, we prefer a 10% contingency of the total contract value. This contingency would be used for any unforeseen conditions or changes in the scope of work. At the conclusion of the project, the contingency would be divided 80% back to the owner and 20% back to Calcon.
What you'll find that through Calcon is we're here to build your guys' project. We're not here to take as much money from you. That's why you'll find that we're giving back 80% of that contingency. We're not trying to make money off it. We're trying to provide that if there are any unforeseen circumstances, we need that money allotted for the project or for the overall project. But we're not here to keep that. We want to give that back to you guys because that is your guys' money.
Continuing on with what Jonathan said about the risk assessment is we take those external identified risks and we put them into our internal risk calculator worksheet. If you turn to your risk tab, it's the last two sheets in your risk tab. Basically what we do is we assign some of these items value between 1 and 5, and we take the average at the end. 1 through 2 is a good manageable risk. We look forward to moving on to those jobs, and we're very confident in those jobs. If it gets a 2 to 3, it's a moderate risk, and a 3 to 5, the job is pretty risky, and we have to manage the downside. The average for this job was 1.7, so we find it's a very comfortable risk.
Our risk assessment for the Mountain Division project is a never-ending cycle of assessment, identification, controls, and review.
What you'll find, Ms. Lopez, is that we really stepped up our game on analyzing the risk, so that way we weren't presented with any the least amount of unforeseen conditions as possible. We pride ourselves on our safety and risk analysis so that we can mitigate that as quickly as possible in the pre-construction phase.
Safety, of course, is always one of the most important things on the project. We want to make sure that every individual goes home safe to their families each and every day. So in order to do that, we're going to be implementing our ZIP program. That's Zero Incident Policy. Our safety program sets us apart from other companies because of its success on past projects. We'll be having a safety coordinator on site each and every day. And it'll be up to him to enforce all safety measures and hazards to be prevented on the project. He will be also in charge of weekly meetings. We'll have meetings every single Tuesday morning, and those will be going over every single hazard and the jobs that we'll be actually doing within that next week to make sure that every single worker on the job site is aware of all hazards and precautions that they need to take necessary. On top of those weekly meetings, we'll also have daily coordination meetings. Those coordination meetings will be with all the foremen, and it'll be up to them to also go back and relay the information to the workers to make sure that they're aware of all the hazards that they need to be aware of for that day-to-day operation. To implement our ZIP policy, we'll be using iCards. iCards are little 3x5 cards that each individual on the whole site will have access to when they first get onto the site. Those cards will be implemented when any actual person sees any type of hazard on the site. It's up to them to immediately stop that work, fill out the card, give it back to us as Calcon, and by doing that, it invests every single person on the project to make sure that they are looking into the safety. So it's not just the safety coordinator's job to enforce it, it's every single person on the job site to make sure that they provide a safe work environment. At the end of the month, we'll be having a raffle for every single person that submits those safety cards to make sure each and every person gets involved in that.
Again, also our biggest issue, our biggest concern is going to be the public safety. That's why we have a lot of constant coordination amongst deliveries and anything that involves the exterior of our immediate job site. You'll notice on our site logistics plan, we really don't have much going on the south side since we share that a walkway with local communities. So the majority of the stuff is on that road above on the north. And I think that sets us apart, that we've really analyzed the safety as well.
Quality is also one of the highest priorities. We also have a quality control manager on site every single day, and he'll also be working with a third party that you also hired. And by working together, we'll definitely be assuring the highest quality